Looking for grants for your business? Well, we made it easy for you. So here's a full list. And if you'd like us to cover your city and your state, make sure you drop your city and state in the comment section below so we can make sure that we cover you. Grants for the month of March. So this month we have many grants, from multi-round grants to retail grants to recovery grants to startup grants to up to $50,000 in grants in many states. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Rinde from AskRinde. Welcome. Please subscribe to the #1 community for real estate income, grants, and credit. So if you'd like to know what these new grants are for the month of March that are expiring and need to apply now, make sure you watch the video to the end and leave a comment below if you need help with anything. So we're going to be sharing with you new grants every month. From work from home grants, to SBA grants, to small business grants, to self-employed grants, to fast grants, to financial assistance grants, to startup grants, and much more. And we're going to be updating our calendar section on my website, AskRinde.com, where you can download March's grants list. So we're currently still intaking applications for our AskRinde Startup Incubator we're going to be launching this year. So this is specifically for startup businesses and those who actually need access to startup grants. So if you'd like to tap in and get connected with us in that, you can actually go to my website at AskRinde.com, click on grants, and get started today. You can also email us for more information. #1, New York, Long Island, the local grant. $5,000 to up to $25,000 in grant. So Optimum Business and the Long Island Association Foundation has launched the second round of their new grant program called the Local Grant. So this grant is actually going to be specifically focusing on businesses that are located in Nassau as well as Suffolk County, with grants that promote business and also give the businesses boosts where needed. So similar to grant programs all around the country, the goal is to actually shore up the local businesses. In turn, they actually generate more tax revenues for the municipality and also the county. So for this particular grant, they're going to be targeting 40 businesses with $5,000 in grants. Now in Nassau as well as Suffolk County, they're going to earmark separately for each county $25,000 for one business within each county. So those businesses are actually going to be given $25,000, while the remaining businesses that actually qualify and apply for this and get the grant have access to $5,000 in grants for their business. In addition to the grant money and the financial rewards, they're also going to be giving up to 1 year membership of the Long Island Association. Now to date, Optimum Business has given out over $250,000 in grants to over 50 businesses. So this is actually a grant source for businesses that are in that location that want to take advantage of this opportunity to get access to this financial capital that they can use for their business. Now to qualify and to apply for this $5,000 to $25,000 in grants, you must meet the following criteria. #1, you must be located in Nassau or Suffolk County within New York. #2, you must have 10 or less employees. And finally, #3, this is specifically for brick and mortar businesses. So you must be actually a brick and mortar business for you to be able to apply for and qualify for this grant program. So the local grant is currently available and it's open. The deadline to apply for this grant is March 28th. If you'd like to get more information and apply for this $5,000 up to $25,000 in grants, you can actually go directly to the LIA's website at longislandassociation.org. #2, Flint, Michigan, the Moving Flint Forward Grant. $5,000 to up to $10,000 in grants. So the Flint and Genesee Economic Alliance has launched their latest grants of the Flint Forward Grant. Now we've actually covered this here in the past on our channel at AskRinde, and if you actually have seen, we've covered this extensively in the different factors as well as the benefits of this particular grant program. Now for this round, they actually are armed with $270,000 that they receive from General Motors in order to administer this particular grant program. Now the great thing about this grant program is that they're not only reaching forward to get new grant applicants, but they're also reaching backwards to reward people who've actually received the grant in the past. So for this particular grant, they're going to be awarding 16 new businesses with financial assistance grants. And they're also going to be focusing on past awardees who've actually previously been awarded the grant program. And they're going to be giving 10 past awardees financial assistance grants as well. So for the new grant recipients and those who are actually new to this grant program, they're going to be entitled to receive $10,000 in grants. And for those who've previously been awarded grant programs or the grant financial assistance, and they're actually now reapplying and they're going to be receiving funding, they're actually able to receive $5,000 in grants. Now with the Moving Flint Forward Grant, The grant can be used for equipment enhancements as well as marketing for the business. Now, to date, the Moving Flint Forward program has given out over $1.43 million in grants to over 80 businesses. So it's actually a very powerful program. It's been very impactful in this location. And to qualify to apply for this $5,000 to $10,000 in grants, you must meet the following criteria. Number one, you must be for profit. Number two, you must be located in Flint. Finally, number three, you must have 20 or less employees. So the Economic Alliance is administering this grant program, and the deadline to apply for this $5,000 to $10,000 in grants is March 21st at 5 p.m. So if you'd like to apply for this grant, you can actually go directly to their website at developflintandgenesee.org/moving-flint-forward. Number three, Richmond, Virginia, the Small Business Recovery Fund, up to $500,000 in grants. The Richmond Economic Development Authority has approved a new grant program to help small businesses and entrepreneurs impacted by the water crisis. So this actually has made headlines, and there have been many businesses that have been dealing with this ongoing. Now, the impact of that has actually affected many businesses, and in some cases has actually turned some businesses on the brink of closure. So this grant program comes at a great time to be able to help them, those who are actually on the brink of closure, to keep their doors open and to continually to actually try to keep their business going, their dream going, and also help the community. So a total of $250,000 has been approved for the Metropolitan Business League. And in addition to that, Dominion as well as Austria has provided match funds, bringing the total amount allocated to up to $500,000 in grants. This is actually great for businesses that fit the criteria that can apply for this in that location. So they're still currently releasing details on this grant program, but the grant program opens on March 17th and it ends on March 28th. So if you'd like to apply for this grant and get access to these funds for your business, if you fit the criteria, you've been affected by the water crisis, you can actually do so by going directly to their website at thembl.org. Number four, Los Angeles, the LA Region Small Business and Worker Relief Fund, up to $25,000 in grants. So the city of LA, in collaboration with the LA DEO, the Department of Economic Opportunity, has teamed up to launch this grant program to help support small businesses, entrepreneurs, as well as workers that have been affected by the LA fires. So the goal of this grant program is similar to others. As we've shared, they're here to help entrepreneurs, small businesses, and in this case, they're also going to be helping those workers that have been displaced or affected by this catastrophe. LA's never seen anything like this before, and I don't think that we've really seen this in the US, but this is something that's been really impactful, and for them to actually roll out and have these funds available for these businesses, in some cases, is actually a do or die affair. So they're helping entrepreneurs as well as displaced workers, as many families have actually been impacted by this catastrophe. So for entrepreneurs and small businesses, they're giving them up to $25,000 in grants. And for displaced workers, they're giving them up to $2,000 in grants to help them with financial assistance. Now, in order to apply for, get assistance with this grant, you can actually visit your local Economic and Workforce Development Department. Now, the deadline to apply for this particular grant and this financial assistance funds, as it was previously now extended. So the deadline now is March 2nd at 5 p.m. If you'd like to get more information and apply for this, you can actually go directly to their website at URL 9984.lacity.org. Number five, Maryland, the Purple Line Small Business Grant Program, up to $50,000 in grants. So the Maryland Department of Transportation is now accepting applications for those small businesses as well as entrepreneurs by the ongoing construction along the Purple Line in Montgomery as well as Prince counties. So for this grant program and to help these businesses that have been impacted by this construction ongoing for a while, because we've actually covered this several times and this has actually been going on for quite a long time. So they've allocated about $4 million in grants to be able to help administer this for those businesses, keep them shored up, keep them open. Even though they've been impacted by this ongoing construction, they're doing everything they can to try to give them financial infusion where they may be losing it as far as where their revenues are. Now, the great thing about this grant program is that it's actually a multi-round grant, and they actually have 3 grant openings or 3 rounds per year for this particular grant. Now, to qualify to apply for this grant, up to $50,000 in grants for your business, you need to meet the following criteria. Number 1, you must be in a quarter-mile distance of the Purple Line. Number 2, you must have been in business since January of 2022. And finally, number 3, you must have 50 employees or less in order to qualify for this particular grant program. So if you're in this location and you'd like to apply for this grant program, you can actually do so, but the deadline to apply for this grant is March 14th. So you need to actually move and do this quickly so that you're actually in contention to be able to apply for and receive up to $50,000 in grants. So if you'd like to get more information and apply for this, you can actually do so by going directly to their website at purplelinemd.com. Number 6, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Philadelphia Small Business Catalyst Fund, up to $50,000 in grants. So I know we're seeing a lot of 50s this month. There's a lot of grants available. Surprisingly, because of all these different recovery efforts, because of people needing financial assistance, because of some of these locations trying to shore up their revenues, they're trying to incentivize businesses with these grants in some cases to spawn retail, to spawn foot traffic, to kind of stir up the economy, which is a good thing because in some cases, because of all the things that have happened and all the recent sickness, you could actually just fold your hands and not do anything. But it's a great thing that these municipalities and also these grant bodies are releasing, especially for the private sector, small businesses and entrepreneurs who crucially need it right now. There was surprisingly a lot of grants this month. Now, this grant is actually one of them as well. That's a really great boost, and it's also very promising for the businesses that are in this location. So the Philadelphia Department of Commerce has actually launched this new grant program, and they've launched it with a lot of fanfare because the goal of this grant program is to actually try to help small businesses with a catalyst. So they've allocated about $5 million that they've set aside in investment fund and capital to accelerate growth of high potential businesses and also give them the opportunity and entrepreneurs in the city to flourish. And the three things that they're looking for giving this particular grant and allocating to an entrepreneur or a business is number 1, need, number 2, growth potential, and finally number 3, economic impact. Those are the three things that they're looking for to be able to actually administer and give and issue this grant for those who apply. So the Department of Commerce is going to be administering this particular grant, and to qualify to apply for this up to $50,000 in grants, you must meet the following criteria. Number 1, you must be a for-profit business. Number 2, you must be located in Philadelphia. Number 3, you must have a clear expansion plan. So they actually want to see what your plans are. They want to see how you're actually going to scale. And that's one of the criteria that they have for this particular grant. And finally, you must have less than $2 million in revenue on an annual basis. So if you'd like to apply for this Catalyst Fund and get access to these grants, you can actually do so. The application process will open up in May of 2025. So if you'd like to get more details on this $50,000 in grants, where you can apply and all the details of how to actually get started, prepare, you can actually do that by going directly to their website at phila.gov. Number 7, Connecticut, the Ignite Grant Program, up to $10,000 in grants. So the Women's Business Development Council has launched this new program called the Ignite Grant Program. Now, we've actually shared about this several times here on my channel, and we've actually been covering the Women's Business Development Council for years and all the programs that they've actually released for women-owned entrepreneurs and women-owned businesses. They've made quite an impact throughout not only Connecticut, but also the nation watching them release grant after grant, support after support for those women who are actually women-owned businesses that are looking to try to scale up, try to not only make a name for themselves, but also put a stamp on their industries. So the grants range from $2,500 to $10,000, and those are for women-owned businesses that have clearly defined projects. We've actually talked about this here in the past. They want them to actually have clearly defined projects when they actually submit for the grant, and that's one of the criteria that they're looking for in order to issue the grant to the female entrepreneur or the women-owned business that actually applies for and receives this grant program. So just like the previous grant, they actually have 3 things that they're going to be looking for as a part of this grant criteria. It's a part of what they believe will be good use of the grant and giving it to the right entity in order to be able to have the capital for what they need. Number 1 is that they want to see the impact on the business, what the money will do to impact the business. Number 2, they want to see growth. And finally, number 3, they want to actually see profitability, which is important for every business and is understandable. But this is quite a unique grant in that there is some criteria that the person who's applying for has to adhere to. So for example, they want to see that you have skin in the game. So the first criteria, if you're going to be applying for this, is that they want to see that you spent at least $2,500 on your business in the last 12 months. Very important for them. They want to see that you have some skin in the game, that you're not just someone who's just applying for the grant and you've not made an investment into your business. In the past, this is the same group that had the equity match grant. So they want to make sure that there's responsible people who they're not only giving the grant to, but those who are applying, this is where they are using this opportunity to prepare them as well so that when they are in the position after learning more about how to get grants for their business, hopefully they can see by having investment and made capital investments into your business and being able to reflect that and show that can really help. So this is actually one of the key things about this, and as I've shared many times, Women's Business Development Council is a great resource as well as organization to tap into if you're a woman-owned business. There's a lot of connections that they have all around the country that you can actually tap into. So to qualify and to apply for this Ignite Grant program for up to $10,000, you must meet the following criteria. Number one, you must be located in Connecticut. Number two, your revenues must be between $25,000 and $2 million in revenue. Finally, number three, you must be a for-profit business. So if you'd like to learn more about the Ignite Grant program, I highly encourage you that you do that, because this is not only just applying for this grant, it's tapping into a source that can actually feed you perpetually. You can build a relationship with them as we teach you in our Grants Masterclass. So the deadline to apply for the Ignite Grant program is March 10th, and you can get more information and apply for this grant by going directly to the Women's Business Development Council's website at ctwbdc.org. Number 8, Washington, D.C., the Robust Retail Grant Program, up to $10,000 in grants. So Mayor Muriel Bowser and the Department of Small and Local Business Development has actually launched a new grant program in that location to help small businesses as well as entrepreneurs. So the goal of this grant program entirely is to actually help support DC retail-based businesses. So this is actually a grant specifically for retail-based businesses. And as I've shared, you'll see this as a recurring theme all around the country, where there's a lot of effort and support to help shore up retail operations because they've been suffering. Many people have actually spawned the online side, and so therefore retail with its overhead has been struggling, and they want to make sure that it doesn't affect the commercial market and also their tax revenues, primarily because as people shop, they're having the tax revenues locally as opposed to people shopping online, and then they're losing that in some cases where it's not reported, et cetera, et cetera. So for this particular grant program, there's actually a lottery process, and 48 businesses will be chosen for the application and the lottery process. Now, out of those 48, 9 businesses will be chosen to receive the grant. So they've actually allocated about $90,000 to be able to give out $10,000 each to each of these companies as a reward and financial reward for the grant and them winning the grant. So that's one of the reasons why the grant is called the Robust Retail Grant Program, because they're just telling you outright that this is specifically for retail businesses, and they want to use this money to be able to actually help make them robust, shore them up. So to qualify to apply for this up to $10,000 in grant, you must meet the following criteria. Number one, you must be located in DC. Number two, you must be for profit. Number three, you must be a retail business. As I shared, this is actually specifically for retail-based businesses. And finally, number four, you must have 25 employees or less. So the deadline to apply for the Robust Retail Grant Program is March 31st. And you can get more information and apply for this grant by going directly to their website at dslbd.dc.gov. So these are just a few of the new grants for the month of March. We couldn't include all the grants as we try not to keep the videos too long. But if you'd like us to cover your city and your state, make sure you drop your city and your state in the comment section below so we can make sure that we cover you. Also, as I shared earlier, the AskRinde Incubator is still intaking new applications. So we're going to be launching that specifically for startup grants and going over many different things that businesses need in order to be able to not only succeed in this climate, but also get access to grants and monies that they can actually use for their businesses that can change their entire entrepreneurial journey. So we actually have off-market assets and also access to some of these startup grants and sources. And these are the things that the incubator is going to be centered around. So we're just really looking forward to it. If you'd like to get more information on that, make sure you go to my website at AskRinde.com, click on grants, and get started today. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You can also email me anytime. My email address is askrindenetwork@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.